Hello everyone and welcome to another English with Joseph from a very sunny Barcelona. I just went for my morning walk and it was a bit too hot for me, so I'm back inside. Well, we were talking yesterday about accent reduction, and I was giving you advice that really what you want to do is to begin to observe people's voices. Imagine your favorite pop song. Imagine what that song would be like if the lyrics were sad, but the tone was different. Imagine what your saddest love song would be if the woman sang it smiling. The idea is to get you to think outside of the box about the voice. When you learn English from a book, what happens is you begin to see English as an academic thing, something you learn like any other ritual in life. And a language can never be like that. A language always has to be lifted up, celebrated, used, changed, diversified. And you have to find your own way about how to express yourself using spoken English. Now, one of the biggest problems I think that people face is that they think, yeah, I'll just copy that person, he sounds nice, I'll just listen to him and talk like him, you know? They don't stop to think how you're perceived by the other person. Those of you who have heard me talking about accent reduction before may also have heard me talking a lot about the perfect tenses. That's not really to do with how you speak, but it is just as important because it's part of speech. And I really would ask you to review my video again about please use the present perfect if you're not already doing so. Yesterday I asked you to observe and to think about pitch and tone, to think about how people communicate with you, to watch their breath patterns, and to see their voice like a piece of music. Notice when it goes up, like this, when it goes down, and when there's a sense of yearning. I need and I want. And you need to get used to these tones because you can't reduce English just down to a bunch of words. There's so much more to it. So yesterday we were talking about how to observe English, and today I would like to talk to you about how to imitate English. When you imitate a native speaker, and this is what you do as a child, you listen and repeat. You don't just imitate their words, you imitate their actions. I'm sure some of us might remember, not the first words we said, but we might remember when we were children making the same gestures as our parents, you know, that or I don't know. We all did it. We all impersonated other people because that's how we grew and that's how we learned. And at this point, if you want to improve your English, you really have to go through that again. You really have to learn how to speak. So if you're speaking well at the moment, congratulations. But I'd like you to consider how other people perceive you. Don't be afraid to ask them, what do you think of me? Because largely the way that you speak will determine how they see you. Okay? So this is another thing I'd like you to think about. How do other people see me? How do other people see me or relate to me? It's a very interesting question, and it's one which is very good. And remember, a lot of how they see you will be determined by how you talk to them. Okay? So, let's talk about how you can imitate a native speaker. Well, I speak a little bit slow, but what I'd like you to do is listen to an English broadcast. You can put on the radio, something like LBC. While the man is talking, ba 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 ba, and use it then and blah and everything, simply try to repeat what you hear, but more than repeat, imitate. Now, it's not about grasping words from the man, it's about grasping sounds. Because even though there's thousands of words in English, there's only a handful of sounds. Okay, so there should be a lot of repetition. You hear every few words a sound that you say, oh, awababa ah, abababa ah, abababa ah. Oh, I'm hearing that a lot, you know. So there's different ways you can hear the sounds that are being made, but ones that are repetitive will stay with you. And that's what you're aiming for, because you begin to get used to the tone and the repetition of the sounds which come up again and again. So for about 20 minutes, I want you just to listen to a native English speaker. Forget about translating, forget about what he's saying, but I want you to listen to the sounds. What sounds are coming up again and again? What sounds did I hear a moment ago that I'm hearing now? Okay? And this is to prepare you for what we'll do in the future when we actually get you to repeat what you hear. But right now I want you to observe the sounds. What sound is that? What sound is this? Okay? So that's today's homework. Begin to observe the sounds. Yesterday you were observing how the voice is, how the voice works. You were observing where someone breathes. You were observing when the pitch goes up, like a piece of music, when it goes down. This time, I want you to observe, what sounds do I hear a lot? Even if it's just a letter. For example, if you hear a or even the, begin to notice, what am I hearing a lot of? What is that I'm hearing? Okay, because it's probably one of our sounds, and there's only 50 of them. Okay, because when the next point after that is to get you to repeat that sound, and then you build on it. There'll be another sound that you'll slowly hear. Your mind is a very powerful thing, and the power of listening and speaking cannot be underestimated. And it's a very different exercise from trying to academicize and listen and repeat. You need to be in a point whereby you can listen and repeat anything that you hear, even when you don't understand it, because it gets you talking fast. Okay? But the purpose of this really, of course, is to get you used to the sounds in English. Okay? So let's start with, what sounds am I hearing regularly? What is that ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba, ah, or whatever? What is that? And as I was saying a moment ago, your mind is incredibly powerful. Even with listening, you already know a lot more. And now is the time to build on it. You know, there are some people who can't read or write. And as a teacher, one of the privileges I had many years ago was to teach them. And I remember being with illiterate English people. They had just fallen away from the school system, and it was such a joy, because the way they related to the world, or the way they saw the world, without having to academicize it and intellectualize it and think about it all the time, it was amazing. They were very practical people. And one of the dangers of learning things from books is that you don't celebrate what you're learning. It stays in the book, and it's the saddest thing. So anyway, today I just want you to begin to think about what you're hearing. What was that letter I heard a moment ago? What was that sound? Was it a word? And I want you to begin looking at how it sounds, and are you saying it correctly? Well, that's all I really want to say for today. Happy solstice, by the way, if you're in a time zone where this is the shortest day. As I said the other day, the solstice we have twice a year. In Britain, it tends to focus around Stonehenge, which is an ancient monument we have. Stonehenge was an old stone circle built by Stone Age people. And when the sun rises twice a year, it comes through the middle of the stones. Only twice a year, on the shortest day and the longest day. So there'll be big celebrations. We also have standing stones in Scotland as well. We have these ancient Neolithic monuments around the UK, and people who worship nature often go there for this day of the year, just to be happy, and just to watch the sunrise. I'm not quite sure what it represents for them, but it's very interesting. So that's called the solstice. And indeed all across Europe there's As I was saying the other day, there are celebrations here in Spain. It ties in with a Saint's Day, St. John the Baptist. So there'll be a festival of lights with fireworks the evening before to celebrate the passing, of the days. Someone sent me a message on Twitter in response to my last video about solstice, saying, "So what?" Well, it's not a question of so what, it's about your English. I'm not sitting here telling you about solstice because I want to. I'm here because I want to tell you something about the English-speaking world. Speaking about the solstice and these things, one of the reasons why it's so interesting for me personally is because of my love for sound, and particularly the voice. And a group of American scientists have recently discovered that Stonehenge, the British Stonehenge, the ancient Neolithic monument, they've discovered that the stones are separated in such a way that it related to sound, and they think that maybe originally it was used as some kind of healing chamber using sound with sick people. It's possible that they were moving their voices up and down or their speech in some way when people were ill to try and heal them. Maybe they knew something like that we've lost. Or alternatively, they were singing something before people died. It's unclear what it was for. Some people say Stonehenge was an astronomical centre because of its relationship to the sun. Some people, like the Americans, have been saying it was a sound chamber, which I really like the sound of. And there's other people who say it was a temple, religious ground, because there's graves underneath it. No one really knows, and no one's there to tell us, but my guess would be it was some kind of healing chamber using the voice, because the voice, at different tones, resonates with music. And I suppose they didn't have pianos in those days, so they couldn't listen to Elton John. Although I'm not sure Elton John's good for anyone. Anyway, that's all I wanted to say today, so enjoy your day, and let's talk very, very soon. I'm going to try and upload the videos from last week that I couldn't do. My laptop was broken, so you'll see a few videos appearing randomly as well. See ya, have a good day, bye bye.